Welcome everybody, live from New York. Is that what city I'm in? Live from New York. I lost track of what cities I'm in. Live from New York. This is Spirit Matters, your Bhakti Center podcast. We've been on a hiatus for a week and a half or so. I was traveling in India, just got back yesterday. I literally don't know what day, time, or year it is. Sydney said it's Saturday night. No, it's not. Don't say that, Sydney. You're really going to freak me out because I'm going to believe you. Sydney wrote it Saturday night, and I'm going to think. I literally, for a minute, I'm like, it's Saturday? Because
No,
I've
of course
lost.
not Saturday, it's Friday.
It's
I was gonna be back in
Friday.
New York, so
It
I had to
is.
It's
say
not Friday, it's
Saturday night.
Thursday.
Okay, she said that. Yeah, Friday. It is Friday, right? Is today Friday? Oh, today's Thursday. No, today's Thursday. I believed you. Today's Thursday. I've been in India for. Oh my God. Darn. I had everybody just. Anyways, I just went off the grid, and then before that, we were in Puerto Rico. So this is the first time this year that I'm kind of back in New York stably for a little while. Anyways, it's good. It's so good to see you, Acyuta. Your face is glowing and bright, and I realize that my life quality decreases when I'm not seeing your face for a prolonged period of time. So I'm
Oh
glad
no,
I'm.
same.
Yeah, you feel that way when you don't look at your face.
No, complete same. This podcast, I felt like it was just really cloudy for 2 weeks. And it wasn't actually cloudy, but like
It
on
was
the inside,
blizzard
things were
here.
missing.
Yeah.
But even
Eh,
when there was a blizzard and we had the podcast, I felt like
What is it about the podcast that you love? Tell our listeners.
um, there's accountability. It's like the people you get to like wake
Mm,
up and work out with in the morning, but it's a spiritual gym session. So we all get to like wake up, come to the gym, hang out with each other, and then go on and have a great day.
yeah. Spiritual Gym, that's our tagline. Welcome to the Spiritual Gym. Kimberly said, too real. I low key felt lost without the podcast. That's our goal. We want to make everybody dependent on us and then we can control you. Juta's like, don't tell them our secret. No, seriously, it's been wonderful traveling, but I really also I was also really appreciating just getting back into like a rhythm with just my life and schedule, and I was realizing like I'm really grateful for my life and the people that I have in it, the few things that I've got going on, and I was thinking a lot about focus and the idea of like what are the things I really want to invest my energy into, and we've talked about this also previously about energy leaks and like where things can get away from um and I was just thinking like wow, like going away to India, being there for a little while helped me kind of reassess what's really important in my life because I lose track of that often. And so I'm looking forward to getting back into that.
I feel like there has to be something like astrological to it at least because you were in India feeling like, okay, I can start to get a balance and a feel for what's really important and what's not important. And I was here in New York, kind of feeling the same way. Like, I don't know, there's something about it. It's like, I feel like it's time to like declutter and all
Yeah.
this
Oh.
like I'm like I've been like packing all this stuff in. And I don't know if that's just a sign of also the seasons changing. Like there's something about it
Mm,
when everything starts to change and all the stuff that you've like packed up for winter to keep yourself
yeah.
insulated or even spiritually insulated. And that's like time to start like, maybe I could shed this stuff. Maybe I don't actually need it to feel protected or secure. Maybe that security comes from someplace else deeper, more divine.
Yeah, I just wrote about that last night. I'm gonna pull it up because I was thinking about this, and I read this verse. You know, I have all of these posts that I make online, and some of them I try to make them accessible to a wide audience. And so, like a lot of verses from like Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam are just like they're just full on like my life belongs to you, O Lord, and they're very God centric. Even though usually my prayers begin with the word God, but like I also try to make it more like if sometimes people repost my post and like they'll scratch out the word God and they'll just make it like an affirmation or something. And so I try to think like, you know, what's something like broad and universal. But this prayer last night was from the Srimad Bhagavatam, and it's from the fourth canto, 31st chapter, verse 22. And it says, although the Supreme Personality God, it is self-sufficient, he becomes dependent on his devotees. He does not care for the goddess of fortune, nor the kings and demigods who are after the favors of the goddess of fortune. So that supreme person who doesn't need anything somehow becomes dependent on us, his devotees. You know, it's kind of radical. Sometimes somehow he's like got everything in the world, everything's in his fingertips. But I used to be. Did you ever sing this when you were a kid? He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. They don't sing that today anymore, do they? It's probably like a. It's
I
just
have no idea, but I've sung it.
there's no more
I'm gonna
songs
make
like that
my
anymore.
case.
There's just a meme with God and the world in his hands or something. It's just a meme. You've seen that meme with God holding the world in his hands? It's amazing. But he becomes dependent on us somehow. And the prayer that I wrote was may I give up the need to impress and learn to embrace the essence of what I have to offer, knowing that I never need to give anything more than that. And I think that this, as you were saying, this mood of decluttering is me or us really getting back to what's essential. And I think that we get so caught up in, you know, what we're looking for. We're looking for that connection. We're looking for comfort. We're looking for, like, I do coaching, or I do counseling, and I've been through a lot of coaching and counseling, and I've also offered to other people. And, you know, one of the things you always get back is, so what are your needs? You know, what are your needs? And it's like, everyone's got the same thing. It's like, I need comfort, I need connection, I need belonging. And it's like there's all these things that we think are going to give that to me, or that society tells us you'll have that. And then all of a sudden we're like juggling all of these balls in the air, spinning all these plates. And then rather than seeking out what we're actually looking for, our time is now devoted towards keeping all these plates spinning for no reason whatsoever. And we're just thinking, like, do I need to keep these plates spinning? Like, what would be so bad if I let this plate fall and crash to the ground? Would that actually be a crime? Would that actually be a loss even? Like, why am I spending so much time keeping up this image or that relationship or this project, whatever it may be? And like, do you have to? And so this sense of like trying to win over certain types of approval in so many ways, and just like letting go of that need. Like, I remember also your brother, Acyuta, was in Kirtan. This was Ananta Govinda years ago, pre-pandemic, in the Bhakti Center, and he was just speaking before Kirtan, and he was talking about, because you guys are such great musicians but so humble, and he was like, I realized I'm never going to impress Krishna with my mridanga beats. I'm never going to impress Krishna with my melody, and like Krishna's not going to be like, whoa, did you see that? You know? And so it's like he said he likened it like a young child offering an ugly tie to their father on Father's Day. We're just offering ugly
And
ties to Krishna, and he
that's right.
loves them
And albeit the tie that we bought with the dad's money,
with the
like,
money that he gave us, that we saved up, that we stole from his piggy bank, you know. And so like giving up that need to impress, and I think that decluttering is like, what are all the things that I really don't need, which is kind of most things. So anyways, I was thinking of that prayer, I was thinking of that verse, and I was thinking of that in my life and how tiring it can be to try to keep all those plates spinning.
yeah, I think nothing will do that to you like 2 weeks of traveling. Like a couple
Mm,
days of traveling, you've got like the stuff that you're living with out of the suitcase or whatever, and then you go back home with all your other stuff. But traveling for extended period of time, 2, 3 weeks, with the same suitcase of stuff, you start feeling like, do I really need all the other stuff that I didn't pack? Like, how essential is any of that other stuff to my life? It really makes you start like taking stock, like, I now see why there are swamis that live with like 3 pairs of the same clothes. They just
yeah.
travel around. Like, it seems so much easier and freer to just like, if I could just drop all this stuff and not worry about all of it. But of course, then, my mind comes in. It's like, of course, we need 42 shirts and 37
Yeah.
Gopi outfits.
How is it that everything I needed fit into a carry-on suitcase for 3 weeks, but now I can't fit all of my clothes into the 2 dressers I have inside my bedroom? Like, how does that work? And also what I love, or what I also, Sydney was asking, how was India? I bet I kind of felt like the question was like, how was India? And I just skipped right past it, and I was like, let's talk about this. But one thing also, because being in India is such a India's a crazy place. We're going to India, by the way. If you want to come to India, come this fall. Acyuta Gopi, along with Kishore and I, are going to India. We're going to Rajasthan and Rishikesh and Vrindavan in the fall. We'd love to have you with us. Um, check out check out wherever that's posted online. You'll find it somewhere. Bhakti Center website, in person, you'll find it. Bhakti Center website, in person tab, fall India trip. Or go to my Instagram and it's in my bio link and we'll find it. But India, there's a lot of spiritual beauty. There's a lot of physical beauty in India, and there's a lot of poverty as well. And there's also like the standard of comfort is quite different. And you realize how little you actually need. You realize how happy and simple you can be, how happy and content you can be living very simply, and how so much of, I think, where we've gotten today in modern and Western culture is that we've confused ourselves into thinking we need more than we actually do. And our circle of friends and our society and our media and whatever it is makes us think that, yeah, we need, like, having hot water, like, oh my god, like that's amazing, you know. And
That's
just
right.
having
And you
like a
don't have like
simple room with a comfortable bed that's warm and hot water, like I'm living in luxury, you know. But and then you can focus on higher things. But if there's no higher thing to focus on, I think that's also the decluttering process. This is how I'm going to tie it all in together. We can't declutter our mind or our life or live simply unless there's something higher for us to grasp onto, because otherwise it's like, what's the point? But if there's something bigger that's grabbing my consciousness, then why would I waste my time with so many other things?
yeah, I mean it's like babies. You ever see a baby and the baby has something that, or even a monkey, right? See a baby or a
A
monkey.
lot of monkeys.
Not
Yeah,
that
there
the
were a lot of monkeys in India.
That's right. See, not that the two are interchangeable, but
Well, there was a
if you see a
baby
baby,
on our trip too, Namamalia, Denya's daughter.
that's right. So if you really want something from that baby, and the baby has something in the grip, like little baby grips, I don't know what superpowers they give these small beings, but the baby grip is something so intense. But if you want something from that child, give the child something else, something bigger, something shinier, something brighter. And I think that we never lose that. We kind of trick
Mm,
ourselves into thinking that we've lost it and we've evolved or matured past that, but we're still exactly the same. We're that same 6 month old with something that we want tight in our grasp, even if that's just a concept or an idea.
mm,
And like you said, unless we have something bigger, brighter, shinier, much more worth it, why would we let go?
yeah. Could I ask you a personal question?
Yes.
Mm. What is something in your life that you're trying to declutter so that you can, it's like gonna have a two-part question. You can answer either part or both. But what is something in your life that you are trying to, or that you know you need to declutter or want to start to spending less time and energy on, and something that so that you can start putting more time somewhere else? Or what is something that you want to start reaching for, and in order for me to start reaching for that, there's something I'm going to need to have to let go of?
Oh my God. There are so many things. I feel like the list is endless.
Mm.
But just so that you get a glimpse into what my life is like, I called my sister yesterday and she says, hello. Actually, just to be completely real, like full disclosure, that's when she goes, Hare Krishna. I said, Hare Krishna, Mataji. Um, you, I said, what do you think if I asked you to like shave my head next week? And she goes, I'm sorry, what? I was like, yeah, what do you think? I was like, I don't know. I'm at a point. I'm tired of the whole thing. I've been dealing with it for a long time. It's like decades of like maintenance every day and worrying about it every day and thinking about it. She's like, well, maybe you want to go in increments. Like maybe there's great answers. Like, but think of the surrender. She's like, yeah, I know we're thinking about that right now at like 7 p.m. But think about like next week after the surrender. Think about the moment after that. Like what happens if you? And I was like, no, but maybe it could work. Like a lot of people are rocking it. She's like, well, like, I don't know, try something else out first. I was like, well, I mean, like, but are you saying you're going to help me? She's like, oh yeah, no, I can't do that. That's beyond my capabilities. I'm not doing that. But like there's been like an idea. It's like this bubbling up for days now of like, what do I really need? Do I really need it? Am I attached to it as an image thing? Like, is it defining me? Like, what's happening? And so the minute that I feel like something is hardcore defining me, unless it's like Krishna, I start like rebelling against it, even if it was something I was already going to do. Like, this is like the stubborn Taurus nature. It's like, hey, could you sing this tune? Unless I really like you, it's a surefire thing. I'm not going to sing that tune. I'm going to sing whatever. Even if it was like, I was planning on singing that tune, the minute somebody's like, hey, could you sing? I'm like, no, I can't. You asked me. So yeah, I feel like there's this like bubbling up, and it's been that way for a while now. Just looking at different clothes and different things, but it's never the thing. It's always what it represents. I feel like there's so much that we hold in and pack into this image that we've kept for however long. And then there is something, like Sydney was saying, super liberating, but there's something liberating about saying, what if I could become somebody new now? Same integrity, same character, but now this is something fresh and new. And then there's all these ideas, like you said, spinning these plates. Well, what would everybody else think? It's like, well, was I keeping it for what everybody else thinks? Is that why I'm dealing with 2 hours of like hair maintenance every day? Like, because of what everybody else thinks? Like, well, who wouldn't like me if I did this? I'm like, well, if they wouldn't like you because you cut your hair off, what does that say about them and your relationship with them? But it brings into like all these things, connection and relationship and all this stuff. And so the same goes for things that I want to get rid of that I still haven't. It's like, why am I holding on to this? Is there job security and keeping job clothes from a job that I don't have anymore, am not going to do anymore? And job styles have changed since then, but still I hold on to all the stuff and I look at like old blazers or whatever. And I'm like, there's nothing in my life that needs this anymore. I have to be able to surrender all of the old blessings, and it's okay to allow those cycles to end in order to allow fresh, new, bright, wonderful blessings to come in. And I think that that's the mindset that I've been trying to cultivate, this idea of, one, you don't miss your blessings. They're going to keep coming. So letting go of this doesn't mean, oh, that was a blessing, now I let go of it, I'm never going to have another one. You don't run out of blessings and you don't miss your blessings. And it's okay. We can let cycles end. Things go in cycles. We have to let it happen. So it's been a lesson in surrender for me. And if you see me here next week, like shaved head, don't like, be nice about it. Okay. Tell me I have a nice shaved head.
So, somebody write that down, that you don't miss your blessings. That's the title of today's episode. I love that. That's powerful. And also, just, you have a few supporters here. Just, Sydney put her camera on just so you can see. Sydney's rocking the shaved head. Lee Shorty is rocking a shaved head. I shaved my head before going to India. You have supporters here. Willow's got a shaved head. You got supporters.
I'm super jealous of everybody's like freeing low maintenance look right
I'll
now.
come over. I got buzzers. I'll bring it.
Yeah. now.
But aside, what I was hearing, and that was super rich, and I hope people were taking that in and taking notes physically or mentally. But it also reminded me, like, I remember when I changed ashrams. I lived as a brahmachari for 10 years. When I was 18, when I was sharing my spiritual story when I was in India a lot with people, and when I was 18 years old, I moved into an ashram and I shaved my head and I put on orange robes and I lived as a monk for 5 years in California. Then I moved out here to New York and spent 5 years of it here before shifting out of the ashram, getting married, and I've been living here in Brooklyn with my wife for the past, I don't know, 7-8 years. But I remember when I was living as a monk in an ashram, I really, really jived with that identity. Like, it really sat well with me. And I liked it and I was comfortable in it. And I felt like it was something I could do for the rest of my life. And when I got to that point of feeling like it was the right thing for me to do to make a change, and thinking about like the long-term trajectory of my life, it was very scary, because it wasn't just like, oh, what comes next, or this or that or the other. It was like, I'm making an identity shift. that like something that I've my entire adult life, really, my entire adult life from 18 to 27, 28, however old I was. And the last thing that I had to overcome was not being seen a certain way by certain people.
Mm.
There were certain people that I thought would be disappointed in me. Not even teachers, but like people that were my age or younger that I thought look up to me for that reason. Or it was like a badge on my spiritual report card. Or it was like, like, okay, well, like that I'm not as serious as I wanted to be, or it was just cool, or it was just something that they could count on. And I was really wrestling that. And it wasn't until I kind of had this, as you were sharing, that thought that came up was like, if this is what's fueling this whole thing, I got to let it go. Like, if that's the fuel of like, oh, I want this person to think or see me in a certain way, like, that's going to run out. That fuel will run out for sure at some point, and it's not going to be pretty, you know? And I love how you mentioned it also. If somebody, like, if there's a life change I need to make, or there's something I need to stop doing, and people are going to reject me for that, or judge me for that, or no longer want to be my friend because of that, that's not the kind of friend I need in my life. you know like, if I'm not able to people please the way that I used to, or if I'm not like funny for people the way that they need me to be, it's like, well, if I'm not funny enough, like, if I'm not this or that enough, it's like, that's not you want someone that's going to cheer you on. You want someone that's going to be like, yeah, I really love your hair, but if you shave it, I'll consider friendship. I'll consider it. No, I'm still there for you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still, so I think that also for me, because what I was hearing from you wasn't it's not about hair or whatever it would be, but it's about allowing life to live in cycles, which I loved, and letting things go. And also, like, what is it that I've gotten a little too comfortable or attached with in my life that's built up a certain identity that, like, maybe I need to, like, shake up a little bit. I'm worried people are going to be making very drastic decisions in their life after this podcast. People are going to shave their heads. People are going to drop out of school. People are going to take up new hobbies. Divorces are going to happen. Tattoos are going to be made. Nose rings.
I mean, here in the big scheme of things, right? Hair changes, tattoo changes, all those kind of changes. I feel like I'm like, go for it. Shake things up, shake up your life. Think about. There are some things though that I'm like, well, hold on a second. Let's just think about this deeply. Let's take a minute. So go for it,
Quit
guys.
my
Make decisions.
job. I'm
It's
quitting.
not
What?
too
I'm
big.
shaking my
I
life
know,
up.
right?
I'm
Like,
like,
don't make all those ones.
don't make all of those.
And
I
I
love
feel
when.
like that's the crux of Bhagavad Gita. I feel like big takeaway from Bhagavad Gita is Krishna telling Arjuna, bro, don't quit your day job though. Like, see what choices you can make within a certain realm, but maybe don't quit your day job.
Yeah. Bhagavad Gita, don't quit your day job. What are the things that you feel that you want to make more time for in your life?
Oh man. I feel like especially this week and a half has shown me really, really clearly how and where I use my time. It's something when you know you're wasting time and you're not necessarily that conscious of it. And then you go through 1 week, 2 week, 3 weeks where you've actually literally had to like plan out all the stages of your day. And then you get to a place where you're just like, yeah, I don't know, and then you fall off. Like, there's something about having a routine and then not having that routine, that juxtaposition. I feel like this week and a half was really telling and really good. Like a quarantine. I feel like quarantine
Mm,
really puts a magnifying glass on where you've been spending your time, how you've been giving it, and then what you give your energy to. So
mm,
I feel like I have been looking more closely at that, and looking more closely at, I actually have a lot more time than I tell myself for spiritual things, for this journey inward toward the self. And I used to kind of like hate that phrase because I'm kind of a really social person, into like in intimate circles, super social. I'm the kind of person we could all just be together and sit on a couch for a long time. We don't even have to talk to each other, but we're all there. Like everybody should be there. And then really looking at it like, wait a second, but how am I actually utilizing my time, my day? Really putting that magnifying glass on it and going, yeah, that was a waste that day. I want to
Hmm.
not only be more conscious about it, but actually make strides to change that. I want to
Yeah.
change how I'm just allowing the day to pass by.
Yeah. That time, where I'm giving my time, and also where I'm giving my energy, and noticing that sometimes my time is just leaking out, but I'm not actually putting my energy towards anywhere that is fruitful. And I think we're just sitting there and it's like I want to give my energy somewhere, but I'm just letting my time slip away. Um, and that's a big one for me. That's a big one for me. I'm in that stage of life. I'm 37, so I'm not old. I'm not young, and I'm kind of like I don't know where I am. I'm 37, and I've got no kids and a dog, and I just got back from India. That's where I'm at. But I'm at that place of like I'm also in that place like health wise where I mean this I've always had really good strong health, but I'm like how long? Because I'm like, how long can I get away with this? Like, how long could I keep living like this and still feel okay physically? Like, it's going to catch up a certain point. And I'm going to be like, damn it. Like, why didn't I just exercise a little bit? Like, why didn't I use some restraint? Like, why did I eat so many popsicles? Like, I got away with it then. Why didn't I, you know what I mean? Or like flossing. It's like, why don't I just like, it's like if I just, I feel like I'm going to be at a point where my teeth are falling. I was like, why didn't I floss more often when I had the chance? And it's like physical health. And then there's like, Sydney's like, you have until about 42. Okay. Time is ticking. And but it's also like I think spiritually that sense of that, yeah, like God, like I'm, and I think that you see that a lot when you're in India, when you're in some of these holy places, and you see people that are just giving it fully, and you're just like, wow, like now's the time now. And that's why like every sutra, every shastra begins with that. Like, you know, the Vedanta Sutra begins Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Now is the time to inquire into Brahman. You know, the Yoga Sutras begins with Atato. Now is the time to discuss yoga. I mean, like now we're gonna, it's like now is the time to like begin this journey. And so I feel like it was there was a Swami giving a class once. Did you ever read Art of Chanting Hare Krishna by Mahanidi Swami? He wrote
Hmm.
this book and he gave a lecture series on that once. And he said that the biggest, Maya has so many minions, you know, of ways of vices, etc., ways of preventing us from developing spiritual. You know what he said? The number one like soldier minion of Maya is of illusion. He said it's procrastination. Procrastination, that sense of less like, and it's also it's like, wait, I've procrastinated my life away. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. That book is magic, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and I've written a poem about it. It's like, it all
Ooh, I
starts.
want your poem. Is it in your book?
It might. Yeah, no, it is in that one. Yeah, it is in
Okay.
Prema Mala. Like, is it in that one or the forthcoming one that is still forthcoming for forever?
Ooh.
But I feel like it all starts there. It all starts with this idea. It's like, yeah, I've got time. I'll do it in a second.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've got time. What's the worst that could happen? And I am that way with my spiritual life and not my material life. Like, in my spiritual life, I'm always like, I'll give it a second. What's the worst that could happen? Like, I'll get to it when I get to it. Yeah, whatever, it's fine. And
Hmm.
I treat it so nonchalantly. Then when it comes to something in my material life, like my hair, I'm like, no, we got to deliberate closely on this matter. Draw a couple of tarot cards, talk to God, have a meditation circle, like really like light some sage and some frankincense and really smooth this situation. Like, I'm like, seriously? But
Hmm.
I'm not taking my japa that serious. I'm not sitting there each day going, now I have this time to chant my japa. I have this time to really connect with my
Yeah.
Lord. Let me deliberate on this fully before giving my time and my energy, me, to something else. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I got it. No, it's fine. I'll just.
I'm constantly putting off my japa. I haven't even changed any japa yet this morning because I'm going to do it later. But it's like, that's so important. Why isn't that an important thing?
Yeah, like it's so difficult to convince our minds that this inquiry and journey to the self is actually the most important thing.
You know what it is? Because it's a delayed reaction sometimes, and we've divorced ourselves from that. What's the mode of goodness is what poison in the beginning and nectar at the end. And also the sense
Mhm.
of just like, you know what it is? You know, I've been thinking about it. It's actually, I think it's Krishna trying to get us to love him. Because the idea of love, because I was thinking about this when I was in Kirtan, I was in the Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan, and we're out of time, but I'm going over. Sorry. I was in the
Do
Krishna
it.
Balaram temple, and we were in a kirtan, and they had the 24-hour kirtan there. And sometimes the really sweet kirtan is after when the temple closes. The temple closes, and then because they have the graveyard shift, it's like all night long. But then you can be there from like 9 to 10. There's just a few people there. It's dark. The temple's empty because otherwise, India's like just chaos and bustling and people and crowds and etc. And it's just there's a few people and they're just doing this really really sweet kirtan. And I went there and there was a few of us and I was sitting there and it was sweet. And at the same time, I was also it started to become an austerity. Like my knees hurt. The kirtan was sweet, but I wasn't like diving into it, and it was going on. And I was like, I know this kirtan's gonna go on for like an hour, and I was just thinking like, I don't know, I'm not so into it. And I was starting to think like, should I stay? You know, should I leave? But then I was there with other people, and I was like, I'm supposed to be like showing them how this is amazing, but like I'm getting tired. Um, and so I was staying, and I was like leaving, and then I was just thinking like, how, wow, like my approach to kirtan is totally like how much I'm enjoying it, as opposed to like the nam yug, as opposed to like the service of like, Krishna, I'm doing this for you, you know? And I think that as long as I'm treating my spiritual practice the way I treat any other material activity, that if it feels good, do it movement, like, then actually it still in some ways is a material act. Like the definition of bhakti is given by Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Correct me if I botch it. Anyabhilasha shunyam jnana karmadyanavratam anukulyena Krishna nushilanam bhaktir uttama. Shilanam bhaktir uttama?
Uttana. Yeah.
Uttama. The highest bhakti, or pure bhakti, is that it's for Krishna. It's for Krishna's pleasure. And I think that, you know, the idea of making that switch of like, well, I'm really trying to like, and I think that what's so hard about it, that I get tripped up a lot, is I don't think that I matter to Krishna.
My God.
I don't think Krishna really cares if I chant my japa or do my service or show up or this or that. And then because of that, it's like, it doesn't really matter. Well, Krishna doesn't really care. And I don't really, not whatever out of it. And like, I can do it tomorrow and I got time. I mean, eternal soul anyways. And so it's like, but I think like I said, Krishna getting us to love him, like Krishna does care. And this is my offering. And so anyways, we're way over time. You had a big aha moment and I feel like we can hear from you, but maybe we can also pick up there tomorrow. What's a closing? I want to hear from you though. You had a big aha. I want a closing words. And then Kimberly, I'm going to be reaching out to you. We got our takeaways back. Anybody else got takeaways? Write them in the chat. Acyuta, let's hear your revelation. Then we're going to hear from Kimberly. And then we're all going to go chant our japa.
Just, that, yeah, right. That super like vulnerable, open moment that I know so many people are feeling because I get messages and letters about it often. It is that thing that I've tried to change in myself, that feeling that Krishna doesn't care. Does he care? Krishna doesn't miss me. Does he miss me? Like, I know we were there, we were cool, we were homies, but does he miss me? Like, is he yearning? Like, is he feeling anything? Like, he's self-satisfied, Atmaram. Like, he doesn't care.
He misses Gopa Kumar, not me.
Right,
Gopa Kumar,
yeah,
I get
like,
it. Sure.
Yeah, but
Not
like,
me.
who am I? And I've tried to change that, looking at this situation going, but wait a second. anybody with feelings would miss the person that they love. And why? Why do I sit there and tell myself that one, everybody else matters except for me, which means that everybody else matters also except for Krishna. Like, everybody else can matter. I can give them my time. It's like, yeah, but why don't you live this one life for Krishna? I can't be doing that. That's crazy.
That's a big one too. Can we bookmark some of these things for tomorrow? Because I think I don't matter to Krishna, but I'm also saying that everybody else matters except Krishna.
And
Because
me.
I'm trying to impress
Like,
everybody
I
else.
don't. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
we gotta
bookmarking a few
start with
things.
that tomorrow.
We're starting with that tomorrow. Kimberly, what do we got going on here? Takeaways.
Hello. All right. My takeaways are declutter your life, get back to what is essential, give up that need to impress. And I love what Acyuta said of you don't miss your blessings. They're gonna keep coming.
Love it. Sydney put, don't stop procrastinating. One of her takeaways. Vidya Pandian wrote, my takeaway would be don't miss your blessings and stop procrastinating. Those are common themes. Thank you guys all so much. Really, really grateful to be with all of you guys. Vidya Pandian, were we just connecting on Instagram? Is that you? That's the same you? Hey,
Yeah.
good to see you.
Hey, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You're going to meet people. I'd meet people in India, be like, I know you on Instagram. I'm like, I don't know you. They're like, I know you. I'm like, selfie. And so you meet people. Anyways, thank you guys all so much for listening. So glad you guys are here. We love you. Please tune in. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. I'm back on my days. We don't have a show Saturday and Sundays, but that will be on next week. Rolling smooth. Acyuta, I love you so much. I'm so glad to be here with you. If you want to come to India with Acyuta and me and Kishore, sign up on our website. Send me a message. Reach out. Get your spot. It's gonna be big. There's gonna be a lot of people. It's gonna sell out. We're gonna max out. We've already got half of our crew that just came with us in January wants to come again. It's gonna be life-changing. It's gonna be beautiful. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you all again soon. Take care. Be safe. Bye-bye.